Alright, welcome back to the Malapert Smarks Wrestling Podcast. This is episode 21. I got Vlad, the wrestling expert. Actually, he's in studio.
Do you believe that, guys?
You guys can't tell because the cameras are not really showing us together, but he's actually right next to me.
There. That's scary, man. That's scary. Kayhan that close to me.
Yeah. So, good to see you, Vlad. First time you've been in studio for a while. You got that, your Cult of Cornet membership t-shirt.
Yes.
Did it come with a membership?
No, just a shirt. Just the Cornet face shirt.
You're not a member of the Cult of Cornet officially?
I don't know how that even... What do you get, like a certificate of some sort?
You would be, though, if you could.
I guess, but I wouldn't want to, like, pay for some sort of membership if that's what... I just don't mind listening to his podcast.
Well, listen.
Yeah.
We are behind on our wrestling.
We are. There's been quite a few things since our last show.
Yeah, our last show was before Summerslam, so we didn't even do a Summerslam review.
Right.
And I got sick.
Yes.
This week, like really bad food poisoning, so 2-3 days was kind of just lost, and I didn't really feel like doing anything.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
So I fell behind on my wrestling, but we're gonna. And I also told you that. To me, it felt like it wasn't even worth doing a review of SummerSlam because all the reviews were out.
Yeah.
We kind of knew what everyone thought of that Jimmy Uso turning on his brother Jay.
Yeah.
And we're just thinking, like, what could the explanation be?
Yeah.
Let's wait and hear the explanation because everyone's like, yeah, let's wait and see. Okay, this seems stupid now, but maybe they got something that they could pull out on us.
Right.
Well, let's jump straight into it, all right? Let's go into that. This is the biggest topic in wrestling, the biggest angle. It's been going on
for years
now.
Yeah.
And so SummerSlam had tribal combat. It was Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns, and Jey Uso had everybody on the ropes, even with all the interference from Solo, and he was still about to win.
Yeah.
And then someone in a mask or a hoodie came in. He had a mask too, I think.
Yeah.
And he came in, and it was Jimmy, and everyone on the internet's, why, Jimmy? Why? It didn't make any sense. He was the one that convinced Jay to come with him to turn on Roman and be independent. And all right, so last night on Smackdown, as we're recording on this on August 12th, on August 11th, we got the explanation.
Yes.
They sent Jimmy out there to actually perform that scene.
Yes. To explain why he did what he did. And
give us your feelings about this explanation.
I told you that going in that I didn't think it was going to make sense no matter what he said, because so what he ended up saying basically is that he didn't want Jay to become like Roman and just vindictive and a manipulator and whatnot, right? That was his explanation.
It's kind of what we were all expecting the explanation to be.
He didn't want him. He said it had nothing to do with being jealous of him, but it had something to do with just being, just didn't want him to end up like Roman, basically. I thought it was pretty ridiculous, and pretty dumb, and made no sense. Like, if you actually had those feelings, why would you cost him? Why would you not tell him that before? And why would you cost him the title? And, and everything else that goes with that, being the tribal chief. I don't know. It just didn't really make sense to me. Like, there's ways you could have done it without having to cost him everything. I don't know. I mean, I know that it's a long-term booking, and they're really set on going with this. But yeah, this was the first time that I felt like, wow, I think that maybe they're running out of ideas, and they're just now like going in circles. Like, oh, I'm going to betray them, and I'm going to stay with him, or whatever. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be proven wrong, but this is the first time I really got that feeling. Like, I don't know if this is still should be the angle, maybe they should already consider like closing up shop with the bloodline. But Paul Heyman says that they're still in the early innings of this angle, so I don't know. We'll see.
Well, okay.
But yes, obviously I hated the thing. I hated Jimmy turning on Jay, and the explanation wasn't really satisfactory, as I knew it wouldn't be.
Yeah, no, it was okay.
Yeah,
I think it's not good. I'm not thrilled with this storyline personally. I think the one way they could have saved it, which is why I said let's wait for the explanation.
Yeah, what could they have said that would have...
Well, he could have said, I want to be tribal chief.
Right.
And then that would have been fine. Then they could have made it a 3-way triple threat for the next pay-per-view. And all 3 of them will duke it out. That would have been cool to me. I would have accepted that.
Yeah.
But this way, I think it sort of works. I'll tell you how. I'm not saying it's great. I'm not thrilled with it. But the only way I could kind of fathom this working is because in the future, they're going to want the Usos to get back together and have like a little very poignant, nice reunion or something.
Sure.
And Jimmy did this out of the goodness, it was a good idea. Like, it had good intentions. You know what I mean? So it wasn't something like so Jay's gonna be mad at him for a long time, and eventually people are gonna be like, all right, just forgive him, man. I mean, he didn't really do anything malicious really, but he made a mistake. Jimmy made a mistake, okay, and he's probably this is gonna be the story. Like, so I could see them working with this angle and making something out of it, but I'm not thrilled with it. I don't think it was the best thing to do. Because yes, he was the one who initially turned on Roman.
Right.
So he should have supported Jay no matter what to become to at least oust Roman. But I don't know. It was a thin explanation, but okay.
I mean, yeah, that's probably the best way of saying it. It was pretty thin, and I don't know if it made a lot of sense. And we just have to go with it. But I hope they prove me wrong, because I obviously I've enjoyed it for all these years. But I think it's come to a point where maybe they're running out of ideas.
Yeah, so I'll just, since we're the Malapert Smarks and we're here criticizing, that's what we're supposed to do
that's
here,
what
by
I try
the
to
way.
do.
I'll remind the audience, since some of you might not have been listening to us, Malapert Smarks are, Smarks is a wrestling term.
Yeah.
We know the show's fake, I guess, and we're not going to talk about it like it's real. We're going to sell out the business, okay? But a Malapert is someone who is disrespectful to someone who is more experienced, someone who is an elder. We've obviously never been in the wrestling business. We're just 2 dope fans, and we're going to criticize this. And this is yet another thing in WWE this year that is very criticizable. Extremely criticizable. Starting with the World Heavyweight title split off.
Oh, yeah.
That everyone's like, I'm not going to let them forget that. I'm not just going to let it slip by and be like, all right, well, now let's accept it as part of what it is. No, that's horrible, and we're gonna keep saying it's horrible until they get rid of it and reunite the titles, which they probably will, I guess, at some point.
You would think.
Years down the line. It's
another circle thing where it goes in circles. They have 2 champions and they have 1, then they have 2, they have 1. It depends on it. Yeah, whatever. I don't know what it's dependent on, but yeah.
So every time we say WWE is pulling away from AEW, they do something stupid to kind of help even the score a little bit.
Well, sort of, yeah. I mean, yes, I guess in a sense. I still think they're better, but yes, of course, I think that they do have their own issues, of course. That goes without saying.
Well, all right. Since that didn't turn out to be so good and that was bunk, let's not spend any more time on it. Let's move on. We got a whole week of wrestling to discuss. So, last thing we discussed was before SummerSlam, so let's talk about everything else from SummerSlam.
Sure.
There was 2 main angles, I would say, with the men.
Yeah.
Cody beating Lesnar clean.
Yeah.
Which was as expected.
Yes.
Right? We just had to see it happen with our own eyes.
Yeah.
So that was good. Okay.
Yeah.
Good for Cody. Supposedly he's still going to get made and win the world title. I have to see it for myself to believe it, because I just don't see this ever happening, but okay. If you have anything else to say about that?
No, it was exactly what it needed to be. He won. Brock kind of put him over in the sense of then they shook his hand and they, kind of like, it was like not really like a passing the torch type thing, but sort of like that a little bit, I would say. So I enjoyed it, and it was exactly what it needed to be.
Well, it was the 2. I mean, if you look at it, really, the 2 top guys, probably.
Yeah. Well, with 2 of the top guys.
Well, Roman cheats in every single match.
That's true.
So he's not really the top guy.
Well, if you want to look at it like that.
He's never beat anyone clean. Lesnar is like the strongest guy.
You're right.
And Cody beat him.
Right.
Clean.
Clean. So, I mean, I mean, hopefully it means good things to come for Cody, and they have an idea of what they're going to do to get him to where he needs to go. But you have your doubts, but we'll see. I don't know either. I can't say 100%, but you would think the guy being as over as he is, and how strong they've kind of booked him, that he will go to where he needs to go. But we'll see.
All right. Well, the other thing from the men I would talk about at the SummerSlam is Finn Balor's title shot against Seth Rollins.
Oh, yeah.
The Judgment Day completely fumbled it up. I guess they tried to help him, so it seemed. And it just got screwed up and he lost. And we predicted that Finn Balor would win. Right. Just because he looked like a fool if he lost.
And they all looked pretty dumb during this whole thing. The finish was very clunky and made them look really bad. I mean, obviously I was hoping that Finn would win just because not that I like Finn, but I'm kind of like the Judgment Day a lot more, and I'm kind of sick of Seth, which I mentioned on our previous show. Just sick of the character. I don't mind him as a worker, obviously, as a wrestler, but the character Seth freaking Rollins is very annoying, and I was hoping that something would be changed in that. But anyways, yes. They made the Judgment Day look pretty dumb and how they blew the match. I mean, yeah, Priest was doing dumb stuff, made it look like I don't know. It was a kind of funky finish that I know what they were going for, but it was still pretty funky.
Yeah, but so these two storylines with Cody and then the Judgment Day, this kind of intertwined.
Oh yeah.
On the next show on Raw, so that's what we'll jump to August 7th and see how this whole thing continued. So the opening segment of Raw started with Cody coming out full of confidence, right, that he beat Lesnar, obviously, which he should be.
Yeah.
And then he alluded to the fact that he thinks he could beat anyone.
Sure.
And he alluded to Roman Reigns because he said Brock Lesnar acknowledged him after the match. So again, a little bit of a tease that maybe they could get back to that somehow, some way.
Yeah.
But Seth Rollins' music hit instead of Roman's, which obviously they're on Raw, so we couldn't really.
Yeah, you can't say anything else. Yeah. I mean, I didn't. I was hoping it wouldn't be Seth, but yes, I was not surprised that it was either.
But it made sense. He's a little threatened. It seems.
Yeah.
That there's not a new big dog, but a real big dog, who is a threat to his title.
Sure.
And so they come out. They have a little conversation. And then Judgment Day comes out, which do they deserve to have a spot like that after the debacle they had the night before, coming out acting like they're big time? But okay, they came out without Finn.
Yeah.
So, but Finn gets involved and jumps Seth, which turns into them making one of their standard 6-man tags for the main event.
Then Sami Zayn comes out, and becomes a 6-man tag at the main event, exactly.
But Judgment Day didn't know Finn was gonna be there. Excuse me. So that turns into drama for the rest of the show, and they finally had it out and they talked. And Damian got mad at Finn. He said, "You lost even though we tried to help you." And then Finn said, "No, I lost because you guys tried to help me. You guys screwed it up."
I kind of agree. Based on what I saw, I kind of agree with Finn.
Yeah. It is true. It was hard to tell if he was trying to sabotage him or not.
Right.
So Rhea's there as usual as the adult in the room, and she makes them make up. And she said, "No, we were trying to help you. We just messed up. Let's move on." And then Finn agrees to this, and then they're just going to be a group. Continue to be a group together.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I think there's still a chance that something will happen with Finn and
Damian,
yeah, because he still has
he could cost them his money in the bank, I guess. He could, when he's cashing it in, and then
he could try to help him too, I guess. If that's the type of help that's the Judgment Day are trying to do, then yeah, we'll see. But I guess we'll see.
And then there's that guy from
what is he, NXT?
From NXT, JD McDonough, who looks like he wants to kind of join Judgment Day or something.
Yeah.
I don't know how he kind of showed up there. He just kind of slipped in.
I don't know. He's more of, I guess, Finn's friend, right?
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, he's Finn's friend.
Okay.
Because I forget, is he also... is he wherever Finn is from? I think maybe they're from the same country or something. I don't know.
Interesting. Didn't know. Okay. So then,
Right.
so the baby faces who were going to face Judgment Day,
Yeah.
they also had their issues trying to be a team.
Yeah.
Because Cody and Seth, who were kind of about to fight themselves,
Yeah.
got thrown into a team together. So throughout the show, they were squabbling and you know, and then Sami Zayn got jumped by, what's that guy's name again? JD McDonough, I'm sorry. And then he got replaced by...
Yeah.
He got replaced by Shinsuke,
Yeah.
who ended up turning on the baby faces at the end of the show, and I guess he wants to be in the world title picture himself. So I don't know what you think about this whole thing of Raw and Judgment Day and what's going on
And
with all that.
Judgment Day lost. Remind me, did they lose? They did lose.
They lose that match.
So
yes.
I mean, they want to put this group over, but they keep looking like doofuses and dummies, right? So it's hard when you have them looking like this. You know, are they? How? I mean, people like they're comparing them to like the Bloodline. Well, no, because the Bloodline usually win. You know, these guys always end up on the short end of things. I mean, they win sometimes, but they usually lose. The Nakamura thing, I don't know, man. I personally don't like his character. I don't know what he was doing in Japan before, or Ring of Honor. Here in WWE, his booking has been off. Or even NXT, maybe he was good too, I don't know. But from what I've seen, he's terrible. Like, he's got off. Okay? I don't know what the... Right? Am I crazy?
Well, I mean, I think he's all right. I mean,
he's just all right, but is he a guy that should be in the title picture in the main event?
He's been in the title picture, but it's too far removed. Like when we were talking about this earlier in the year with AJ Styles fighting Seth Rollins, and I was like, well, yeah, everyone sees AJ Styles as a main eventer, but you were like, no, in recent memory, no one's seen him as a main eventer.
That's right.
So you have to like kind of go along with what people have been seeing recently, because you can't expect that people have been watching for 5 years.
But I don't remember
years.
ever seeing a time where this guy's booking, maybe until when he first initially came in, maybe, but I don't remember a time where his book, I mean, and I've been watching the last couple of years, and I don't remember a time where his booking has been strong at all, where he's been booked as a main eventer, so I don't know.
He was in the world title picture. He's been a world champion. So.
I think initially when he came in, right?
Yeah.
Right, but that was many years ago now, so...
Yeah, WWE do that sometimes, you know. They can always say, "Oh, this guy's a former world champion."
I just want to say I'm not impressed with anything that I've seen of him do now. Again, I haven't seen his stuff in Japan or Ring of Honor, or I don't even know if he's been in Ring of Honor, but Japan or NXT. I know he was there for sure, but so I'm just gonna say I don't really care what he's doing based on what I've seen of him on Raw or SmackDown. Right? That's all I want to say.
All right. Well, let's move on to LA Knight.
Oh yeah.
So LA Knight's push has supposedly begun.
Hopefully.
It looks like it. Sure seems like it. He's getting a spotlight.
Well, yeah, we didn't mention that. Yeah, oh well, maybe we will. He won that Slim Jim Battle Royal at SummerSlam too, right?
Well, okay, so he beat Sheamus on the SmackDown before SummerSlam. Yes. He won the Slim Jim Battle Royal, which is what people were expecting based on the hype.
Yeah.
And then he's also entered into a feud with The Miz on Raw, slightly high profile.
Possibly a feud, maybe. I don't know. Or just a one-time thing.
It could have just been a one-time thing.
Yeah,
I don't know. It was an interesting promo battle they had.
Yep.
And then he
shooting a little bit at each other, yeah.
Then they had a little tussle, and LA Knight got the best of him.
Yeah.
And then he beat Top Dollar yesterday on SmackDown.
Yeah.
So that's the update on LA Knight. So, I mean, it's progress. You know, it looks like it's better than what was going on before.
Yes, when he was losing every match, right?
So
usually winning is a sign of being pushed, right? So we'll see. We'll see where it all leads. I'm a big fan, like I said. So hopefully they do right by this guy. He's the crowd is behind him. They're into him. We'll just see. We can only just wait and see.
Well, yeah. So we're big LA Knight fans. I'm a big LA Knight fan. If you want to go see our older videos littered with videos of us sulking and basking in LA Knight.
And all his glory.
Yes. So basically we're just rooting for this push, and we're keeping an eye on it. So that's the update on LA Knight. Seems to be going well. I mean, he did stutter one time in his promo against the Miz. Yeah, and then he kind of got flustered, and I think he forgot where he was going. He smiled. He kind of had an awkward smile for a minute while he was trying to gather himself.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I hope things like that don't stall him up, because we've never actually seen him do it on this level.
Right.
So
I maybe they were testing something out there. Like he
I
was
don't
trying
think
to go into, maybe they had, it was supposed to be like a shoot promos, or at least working on I don't know. Who knows what happened there, but
he just had one line where he fumbled it, and then but that happens to people from time to time.
Yeah,
I don't think
that shouldn't stop his push.
You
that's
gotta,
for sure.
You gotta let it slide off your back, because he seemed to get a little flustered there.
It happens.
Anyways, so that's WWE, unless there's anything you can remember off the top of your head from SummerSlam and everything.
No, I think we've covered all the main topics of
Io Skye on the women's side.
In.
She cashed in.
Yeah, but, you know, I mean, doesn't everybody pretty much think that the real women's champion is Rhea Ripley? So, like, isn't this also like a secondary belt, basically, at this point?
Yeah, sure, I guess.
So I don't know.
That is another issue, but...
Yeah. The fact that there's 2 women's champions and 2 men's champions, and I don't know, man. But yes, I do think that's an issue, but I don't think it's really worth discussing. Not that I hate any of those people or dislike them even. I like them all. I think they're all great professionals, but I don't think it's worth discussing.
All right, then. Let's move on to our favorites, AEW.
Oh, yeah. Always something to discuss here, I think.
It's our favorites in terms of, like, we have more to discuss. Yes, it's juicier.
Yeah.
Definitely juicier. So let's start with Collision on August 5th, which was running at the same time as SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And we had tried, Vlad was at my house.
Yeah.
We had tried to put both of them on, but we couldn't really pay attention.
Yeah, I think, this had, because of that, I think, from what I read, Collision had the worst ratings it ever had, because
I didn't even notice that.
It was like not even 500,000 people watched it, so, you know, which makes sense, because, you know, it's going at the same time as SummerSlam, which is a premium live event.
So we had to rewatch it again to see if there was anything we missed. The one thing me and Vlad were gushing over was the Toni Storm promo.
Yeah, it was really good.
Which came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I guess if we were surprised that obviously a lot of people were surprised that Toni Storm lost the title to Shida, that they ended her reign.
We don't even have to talk about that, but yeah.
If the side effect is that we get to see this Toni Storm character who's like broken and depressed or whatever, I think this is kind of okay. I mean, why Shida, I guess, out of all the wrestlers?
Yeah.
We didn't really talk about this on the last show.
We did not. It didn't come up because we had other things we had to get through and other things to discuss.
It was on the wheel of angles, but
yes, we just
didn't land on that.
Yeah, I got you.
So yes, we hadn't commented yet on Shida winning the title. It was a little strange.
Yeah, very
I think some people were saying that since she was a pandemic champion, she never got a chance to win the title in front of fans and have a reign in front of an audience. So, okay, but
I mean, I obviously understand that. That might be true, but I don't think she just seemed to have won out of nowhere. Like, there was no build up to this thing. I mean, you're gonna have her win, okay. I think she's a solid talent, but not as good as Toni Storm, and probably shouldn't be the champion over Toni Storm, who is actually really sticking out as maybe the best women's wrestler, definitely in AEW for now. Right now, it's not even. I don't even think it's that close right now. I mean, it's either her or Hayter, and Hayter's injured, so, you know, yeah.
But this loss really shook her.
Yes, and which was awesome.
Yes,
the promo was great work. I mean, it was just
her and Shivani, like the back and forth, because Shivani worked really well there. Usually he's a horrible actor.
Yeah.
But in this case, she was telling him, like, what, I'm not good enough for you? He's like, no, you're fine, you're great. Look at the state of...
Look at the state of me is the line that sticks out.
Look at the state of... And she's, like, smoking hot, perfect looking.
Her hair all perfect looking and stuff. And she's like, look at the state of me. Well, she is in this, like, robe now. That's her latest thing, that she's coming out in robes. I guess, I don't know what that... Maybe because she doesn't have the bolt around her waist, she has to, like, cover her waist. I don't know what the robe exactly means. But anyways, yeah, that was a great promo. And that was, you know... just very, very good stuff across the board with her.
All right. Well, that was my highlight of the show. But the rest of the show, I guess there was a couple of things that we should discuss.
I think it's worth mentioning.
Ricky Starks was the main event.
Yeah.
And it was highlighted by him whipping Ricky Steamboat.
Yes.
After losing the match for the World Heavyweight title against CM Punk, the real World Heavyweight title. by the way.
Yes.
So there was a ref bump, and that led to Steamboat getting in the ring and being the referee and counting the 3.
Right.
And then Starks afterwards was mad, and he cheap-shotted Punk and Steamboat as they were trying to leave the ring. And then he took off Ricky Steamboat's belt and whooped him, and really hard looking.
Yeah, he whooped him pretty hard. I thought it was pretty good. I thought that was great heel
stuff. It looked
stuff.
painful.
Well, it might have been. I don't know. I don't know if you can really work those type of things.
It didn't seem like he was selling. It was actually like in pain.
I don't know if you can gimmick those type of things. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it just looked worse than it was, and maybe you could gimmick something like that or work something like that. I don't know how you work a belt. That's maybe a question for the wrestling.
No, man. Some things you don't work. Some things you just take the pain. Like if it's not gonna kill you, might as well.
So you're really getting getting that strapped with a belt.
It's like when Cody got whipped by MJF.
I see. Right. Yeah.
I mean,
you can't really work those. Okay. Well, either way, I just want to say that it was good, and you got Starks got really good heel heat. I feel, and even though a lot of people like Starks, but this was a pretty heelish thing to do to attack a legend like Ricky Steamboat, right?
So you think this did good for Ricky Starks?
No, I think Ricky Starks is doing great. He's doing great. Great stuff. I think
Ricky Steamboat putting over Ricky Starks, huh?
Yeah, I think I'm very happy that he's getting some shine on him. Like I said previously in one of our other episodes, because he's a really good talent, and he's been wasted a lot on when they had just Dynamite. So I'm glad that Collision is giving him the ability to showcase his talents more. Yeah.
Well, moving on. Another thing, what do you think of this one?
Yeah.
So FTR had their match.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot who it was against. Big Bill and Ryan Cage.
That's right. That's what it was. Good memory.
Not an important match. An obvious win.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, they grab the mic and surprise everyone and kind of call out the Young Bucks and say, we want a match.
That was a little surprising.
All in. I mean, it was out of nowhere. I mean, everyone it's been hovering around the wrestling that they should have a rubber match.
Yeah, absolutely.
But at All In, okay, I don't know. What do you think? You like that booking for All In, huh? I mean, it's going to be the biggest event of all time. Biggest wrestling event of all time.
Yeah, it's a stadium show. They want to put on a showcase. These guys obviously they'll put on a good match together despite the different styles that both teams have. But they work well together, right? So I think it'll be fine, but the question is who's gonna do the job? Who's gonna lose this? I guess who's gonna take the fall? I mean, that's gonna be the interesting question. That's really the more interesting question, because obviously the match, these guys can put on a good match together in front of all those fans in Liverpool, or not Liverpool, excuse me, London, in Wembley Stadium. Excuse me, sorry. They're gonna put on a great match, but the question is who's gonna do the job? That's the really, obviously I'd prefer for FTR to win, because I obviously I'm not a huge fan on the Bucks, or I'm not high on the Bucks. But what's your take on all this, Kayhan?
I don't want to see the match.
Oh, you just don't even want to see it. You don't care about either team.
I mean, I care about FTR. FTR could have good matches against good teams. Like if it was Gin and Juice, as Jim Cornette calls them, Gin and Jay White and Juice, like their third match at Wembley.
Right.
That would have been pretty...
But you think that would have been better?
I don't care about the Young Bucks, man. Like, there's just storylines nowadays that I got too much wrestling to watch, too much stuff to do. I have a job. I gotta make a living. So, like, I'm totally phasing out. Not related to this, but I'm totally not watching, like, the big Blackpool Combat Club Moxley feud with, like, the Lucha Brothers and the best. God, like, the Young Bucks, to me, and if this is gonna make me lose subscribers or fans, so be it, okay? I just don't respect them. I
like it.
I don't
like it.
I don't think I respect them in terms of like they can work, they can do moves.
Yes, they can do.
They can do their moves real cool. They can do flips real cool, and they're really good at that.
They are really good at that.
Very impressed with that, and congratulations that you can do that. But overall, I think their attitude and purposely like killing the business and the whole thing about making it a joke, that
that's the parts that where
like,
you can't really. I don't know how you support if you're a wrestling fan.
I can't support that. And then on top of that, like any angles they're in recently and any matches,
They're always a joke.
They're always really bad. So I'm not excited for this.
Oh yeah, I'm with you, but I'm just worried that the FTR might have to take the fall to these guys. Is the point I was trying to make. Because
I don't even care. I don't.
Well, I rather. I mean, sure, but I mean, then
like that's the only difference. See, they'll make it a good match or a bad match is if FTR.
Yeah, I mean, it matters who wins or loses, doesn't it?
I guess, yeah. In terms of the booking, I mean, we'll see how the stadium reacts to them. Maybe like the whole stadium's gonna be FTR, and they're.
Wow, that would. Oh well, yeah, that would be
because it's in England, so they might be like smarter fans.
Maybe.
So I'm not sure who the fan base is going to be. I don't think they're going to be like total Young Bucks people. But
well, I don't know what to make of it, but I guess we'll just it's another one of those wait and see things, but I definitely agree with you on many points you just made about the Young Bucks specifically, but
I just think also this is the wrong time for this match. Like it's fine to have this match, but this is such a big nice juicy show with such a big attendance already. It's one of the biggest attended shows.
So why not showcase what you consider like maybe your two best tag teams, if that's what Tony Khan feels like? No, that's not a point to be made for that. I mean, hey, if you disagree, that's fine.
No, I don't think this is your two best tag teams. I'm sorry.
You don't think FTR?
Sure, FTR is.
But you don't think the Young Bucks are?
No, I don't think the Young Bucks are.
But obviously Tony Khan does. So I would think, or FTR.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think, and also for like a fan base that's just more. Maybe casual, like English people, or maybe just because it's on their regular antenna television, so people are just kind of like they just watch it from time to time. I think since it's free, so a lot of people just follow it. I think you should try to put on like a better angle. That just
you think there should have been some build up to this, and it would have made more
build up to this or anything,
so then it would have made more sense for them to have the match with Jin and Juice near. In that case.
I guess so. Yeah, they could have figured a way to do that
because at least there was already matches and something there already, right? Okay.
I just don't see the hype for FTR and the Young Bucks like everyone else does. I don't think it deserves to be on this big show. But if anybody catches this, if this is a segment on YouTube and you totally disagree with me, then okay, we're just different types of wrestling fans.
Yeah. I don't completely disagree, but I think the match. I mean, they'll put on a good match. I don't see how they won't. I mean, if that's the biggest, but yes, I see a lot of points you made, but I guess we'll just have to see how it all unfolds, man.
All right, so another thing I guess we could mention from that collision before we move on to Dynamite was Christian's promo with his daughter.
Oh my god! Yes.
You know, because he thinks he should be a role model now to all the kids.
Yeah.
So he brought his daughter, and his daughter asked him if she could hold the belt, and he goes, "Did you win this belt?" No, you can't hold this belt because you didn't win it. Get the hell out of here! And then he called security
to kick her
out of the building. Yeah. She doesn't have clearance.
Yeah, she's like a 7-year-old girl.
Yeah. So again, anything with Christian lately has been gold to me. I'm happy with that part of Collision.
I mean, my only thing with that is yes, I liked it. It was funny, but. He's not gonna really kick out his daughter from the building, so it was a little bit on the ridiculous side. So it was Christian. I would say Christian's a great worker, obviously, and a great promo guy, but this was a little bit like heading towards the ridiculous, which we need to stay away from a little bit. But yes, still good.
All right, so that was Collision. Let's move on to Dynamite, August 16th.
Oh wow.
Okay, so. We started that show with a JAS meeting, the mandatory JAS meeting, where all the members of JAS had very seriously told Jericho that he has to show up to this meeting.
Yeah.
And one by one, they all walked out on him.
Yeah, they all quit.
And Daniel Garcia did the dance on his way out, too, right in front of Jericho's face.
Yes. He had
to accentuate the fact
that he's very upset
that he was leaving.
Oh, that he's leaving, yeah. Well, good riddance, I say.
Well, Sammy was the one guy who didn't really completely leave. He's like, if you change, I'll be here for you as a friend.
I don't understand. Sammy was the one that was supposed to be out of the group before when he was having. I don't understand. Sammy, I thought was supposed to, they were teasing Sammy leaving Jericho like before even. So what they're doing with Sammy, I don't think they even know. But I can't believe this is getting as much TV time as it's gotten. I mean, one of the maybe worst groups in the history of wrestling. It's either them or the Dungeon of Doom.
Jesus.
Right? No? I don't know.
I'd have to think about like
this is a horrific. Well, okay. If we're just doing in recent memory, this is one of the worst I've ever seen.
Well, there's the Best Friends and the Dark Order, so
they're on par with those groups. They're not much better. They're right there with them. So these are all AEW groups. They all have something in common. They're all in AEW, by the way. But anyways, yeah, this was unbelievable that this got like 10, 15 minutes to start the show, whatever it did, because my God, nobody should care about Jericho or end this ridiculous group.
Well, so afterwards,
yeah,
Don Callis caught up with him in the back.
Yes.
And Jericho said he's going to announce, presumably, that he's going to join Don Callis' family. But he didn't say that. They just said, I'm going to make an announcement.
Yeah, which is weird. Makes me think that he might not join.
So is there any chance that he could change his mind and go back to the Jericho Appreciation Society?
I don't know about that, but because that would be ridiculous at this point. But there's a possibility that he might just not join Callis and his group as well. But because if he was going to join them, why not just already say that? Why keep stretching this thing out, right? If he was just going to join them, he would already join them. And who really does anyone care if he does join Callis? I mean, I don't know. Bro. I don't know. I'm not, outside of the first maybe reign that Jericho had as the champion when AEW first started, he's been a disaster ever since. Maybe it's like the worst thing that ever happened to him is losing that title. I think he was great in the beginning, and then it all fell apart really fast. Yeah,
well, I gotta say, I mean, to me, it's not as bad as like Best Friends stuff or Blackpool Combat Club stuff.
I don't think it's that's debatable. It really is debatable. I mean, I agree.
I'm very humored by Daniel Garcia, so that's why the Jericho Appreciation Society angle to me has not been such a complete train wreck or loss. Yeah, it's not a complete loss, but the angle where Daniel Garcia was trying to figure out whether he was a wrestler or a sports entertainer, to me, I was very humored by that. I got a huge kick out of that, so I love that. But other than that, yeah, mostly everything about the Jericho Appreciation Society and the idea of it itself.
So I mean, you didn't care about this first opening segment because they started the show with this. So right? Or you did a little bit, only because Daniel Garcia was involved. You cared because you're.
There's something about Ty Conti too when she speaks.
Oh,
she
why you can't? You could barely understand 5 words she says.
It's great though because she's like all into it and she's gonna give her complete acting chops into the scene, but she's bad. So I like seeing Ty Conti. Daddy Magic, Matt Menard, also a very big fan. But yeah, I mean, okay, these are all pretty funny characters that I like.
But they're not to be taken seriously.
Especially in a group called the Jericho Appreciation Society.
Yeah, I mean, so much TV time for a group that nobody should care about. But okay, I mean, all right.
Well, let's move along. Okay, so it might be over. It might not be.
Yeah.
Might not be. I don't know. I could see them pulling them back together. Yeah. He could come back heroically and say, guys, I'm back. I chose you guys.
Oh, man. They should then beat him up. They should just beat him down to Chinatown, man. Just leave him land.
No, they'll forgive him. If he actually is going to be, like, loyal to them.
They seem like a forgiving bunch. You're right. Yeah.
All right, let's move along. So after this, they had a rematch, Young Bucks and the Hardys, which was...
They've done before? Oh.
Well, they did it in AEW. It didn't turn out to be a good match. I think it was...
I can't remember this at all.
It was at a pay-per-view.
Oh.
I can't remember which one. And I heard that Jeff Hardy got hurt during the match, and that's why he was kind of out of it. He couldn't really finish the match well.
I can't remember that at all.
So that one was a bunk match. And then they've also fought in Ring of Honor for the tag team title.
Yeah, I saw that they showed the clips of that.
So this was a good match, though. For a Young Bucks match, I thought it was okay. Yeah. And then the Hardys did the job.
Yes,
they did the job, fine and clean. I think Jeff Hardy went to the top rope. And did a accidental slip off, quote unquote, and then fell off. And so that looked good. I think that looked fine.
Yeah.
And then the Young Bucks called out FTR after the match and accepted the match for All In. So that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And that's that, I guess.
That is that. There's no turning back now. We're all in.
Oh my god. All right. Well, okay. So the All In card is coming together. Let's see what else coming up. I think we might get another one. But
yeah. Next
on this show was Jungle Boy versus RVD. I didn't take much notes on this, but all I have here was that I wrote it was great. I mean, I don't know. To me, I think RVD worked great. He looked like he blew up.
He probably did.
Like he was tired, really tired. He was doing all his old moves, all his old stuff.
Yeah.
Doing it pretty well. Jungle Boy was doing really well too, and I thought it was a fantastic match. I don't know. I think they should sign RVD personally. I would love for that.
Yeah.
It looks like he's got something left in the tank.
Yeah, I mean he did look pretty good, but my problem with it is what's the point of this angle? Like, what's the point? I thought the point was at the end of it that. Which is what I kind of discussed with you maybe a couple weeks back when Jungle Boy I thought was going to take on not RVD but Jerry Lynn.
Yeah. Right?
That like the point was that he was going to get like some really good heat. He was going to leave like one of these legends laying. What happened in this match? He let RVD get all his stuff in. He basically kicked his ass, and then he ended up winning on like a roll up at the end of it, right? So it was
he used a weapon, right?
He used a weapon, but like there was already kind of like
it was a
chaotic match.
Yeah, it was a hardcore match, and he did what he had to do to win.
But I don't understand what this does for him. It doesn't. If this angle is to get Jungle Boy, excuse me, not even Jungle Boy, Jack Perry.
Yeah.
Over.
I know it's hard.
Yeah. Then they failed in my opinion. They didn't do what they needed to do in this match because he didn't get any type of heat here at all, like zero. I mean, okay, he cheated to win, but he cheated against a legend, I guess, that was like an older guy, right? So he was supposed to win for Christ's sakes, or else then what? If he lost, then I don't even know what we're doing here. But anyway,
I know. I guess it's hard to have a weasel win when there's like complete weapons and everything.
I think at the end of it, if he needed to like really get some heat and leave RVD laying like really good heat, like maybe even this could have been an angle where they could have really shown his heel persona really coming and developing, and maybe even left him bloody, or something like that. I don't know. That's what I would have done. But so I wasn't really happy with what they did with it here. I'm not saying RVD's. I'm not saying anyone's really at fault. I mean, except for whoever booked it. And we know who did that. So RVD does look great for a guy his age, and he's still a very capable worker, amazingly enough. Given the stuff that he can do at his age is pretty incredible.
I don't know if Jack Perry's ever going to be that type of like leave him laying bloody type of heel.
Well, that's what he needed to do here, I think, to get this part angle over. Because at the end of it, he's going to still be feuding with Hook, not RVD, I don't think. The fact that he barely beat RVD, what does that say for him down the line? I don't know. He can barely beat RVD, but I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I don't think I am. I think this was just not well thought out that well. But I guess we'll see what happens. I'm not saying that it's all over. This angle is done. They blew it.
No. I'm thinking about what you're saying. I understand what you're getting at, but I think RVD looked good enough to where it's not embarrassing that he hung with him. He's still a legend. He's not old or anything.
But it didn't do anything for Jack Perry. Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
He won in the end. He figured a way to win, and he escaped with the belt.
I don't know.
In a no rules match, that's pretty tough.
It just seemed like a match where RVD was like got all his stuff over, did everything that all his legendary moves.
Yeah, but Jack Perry still came out of it with the belt. That's all. That's not
what I took away from the match. But I see what you're saying too. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
All right, well, let's move on to something else that's been a big, major angle in the world of wrestling. I would call it probably the second biggest angle other than the Bloodline.
I agree.
At this minute.
Yes.
How do you know? You didn't even know which angle I was talking about. I'm talking about Best Friends and the Lucha Brothers and the Blackpool.
Listen, if that's what we're talking about, I'm leaving right now, and you lose my number. We're not doing any more podcasts.
Vlad is cheating. He's looking at my notes. He sees that I was going to talk about MJF and Adam Cole.
Yeah.
That's why you said I agree with you.
Yes.
So, okay. I'm kidding. I'm not talking about best friends or Lucha
yeah.
Brothers. But, so, MJF and Adam Cole are going to do a match at All In. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we found this out last week.
You're right.
We've already talked about that, the fact that it's announced. It was a weird idea to us.
Yeah.
And we're like, all right, let's see how this progresses, or let's see what happens. So here we go again. It's Wednesday night, and MJF and Adam Cole are going to do a hangout session because they're buddies now. And it's very important that MJF learns how to make friends. This is new to him. So he meets up with Adam Cole, and Adam Cole surprises him with a visit to the trampoline park, which I didn't even know there were trampoline parks. So this is awesome. This is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Now you guys know where all my extra money is going to be going.
All these trampoline parks.
I don't think there is a trampoline park around here. I got to figure that out. We should research that.
I have no idea. I've never seen one, but there might be somewhere.
So anyways, MJF in this segment, another silly pre-taped cinematic segment, I guess, goes along with it apprehensively.
Yeah.
Kind of seems weirded out by hanging out at the trampoline park. But there's dodgeball, and he's like, okay, that seems fun. So he goes and picks on some kids and throws the dodgeball at them. And there were some insults that were funny. Do you remember any? He told the one kid, hey, bad news, I'm your dad.
I don't remember the insults, but yes. Bad news, I'm your dad.
So then the little girl came up to them and asked a very poignant question. What are you guys doing here? So they got pissed at her, and then they teamed up on her and bullied her together.
Yeah, they threw the ball.
Yeah.
At her.
So
I guess that's the way
that's how they bonded.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you go, another bonding segment for them. So more things happen on the show, but I'm gonna cut to the part where, just because we're on this topic, about them coming out together and cutting a promo together about their match. So this whole thing is really awkward, right? Because they're gonna have a match, but they're being very amicable and friendly about it. Like, hey, we're gonna main event together. Yeah, okay, cool. This is so cool. We're gonna have a good match. And then MJF was like, oh, we're supposed to cut promos on each other now. And then he cut like a really horrible promo about him. I forgot what he said, that he was skinny and pasty, or do you remember any of them?
He did say something about being skinny and pasty, and that if it was the 80s, Hogan would snort him or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. And again, Adam Cole sometimes has to check MJF's like social cues. And tells him, hey, no, don't do that. That's not right. That's not what I wanted to do. Got mad at him.
Yeah.
Then they gotta, make up again, which they've done several times.
Yeah.
So the weird thing about this segment, which came to the storyline that they're trying to get to here, is that Adam Cole wants another tag team title match, but this time against the Ring of Honor tag team champions at All In Wembley. On the same night, they're gonna have a world title match. So this was kind of insane in multiple ways. I know. First of all, before we get into it, I know you don't really like Ring of Honor. Or you don't really respect the idea of them putting these belts out like they're meaningful. You don't think they're that meaningful.
They're not. No.
So they're trying to put them over, though. They're gonna get on the card at the biggest show, one of the biggest gates in history of wrestling. So, okay.
They're on the pre-show.
All right, look. Let's try to break this down step by step.
Yeah.
Step by step.
Let's try it.
Let's forget the Ring of Honor thing first of all. Okay, let's just put that to the side. Okay, you don't like Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
You don't think, some people think it's a prestigious title. It's had history. They showed the video package of.
I agree that it has.
Kevin Steen, Generico, and everybody.
Yeah, the Briscoes and whatnot.
The Briscoes, FTR. Okay, so, but. Okay, this is too much of a mess for even me to make a coherent question out of this. Like, why a match on the same night? Who would ever do that? Who would ever have a match the same night when they're having a world title match?
I don't know.
An important world title match. And MJF even said that. He's like, not only do you want me to wrestle twice in one night, but a tag team match for the Ring of Honor world titles.
I don't understand the significance of that or why that needs to be part of the angle, but I don't know. I can't answer that. I don't have the answer.
What do you think of this whole thing? Are you maddened by this? Is this kind of like
maddened? No, not well.
It's weird as fuck. They're gonna come out on 0 hour and have a tag team match.
I'm almost now more and more convinced that it's actually Cole that's gonna turn on, and he's gonna join that Kingdom group with Roddy, and it's gonna end up being like the one big. That's my prediction. Not like I know that for a fact, but that's just where I'm going with it, based on what I've seen so far. So
interesting.
It would make sense because he already has history with those guys. So I think that's where it's leading. As far as I don't know. I don't even know how to make sense of the fact that they're also having a tag match at this pre-show for the Ring of Honor titles. I don't know what to even make of that. What it all means. Are they going to win? If they win the Ring of Honor titles, what then? I don't know. You got me, man. I don't know what to make of that, but I do think, as far as the main angle, which is who's gonna win or what's gonna happen, I think there could be some sort of swerve, and I would be surprised if it's Cole swerving MJF.
Yeah, I think there's something that could happen in that tag team match. Like, if they lose or win, it'll be very interesting how that impacts the main event.
Right.
Because if they lose, then they might be mad at each other, or someone might blame the other guy, and then they could just maybe have like a real match where they don't like each other.
Sure.
I guess. It's weird, but if they win, then they'll be tag team champions, and then they can't swerve each other. I don't know. I still think there's a possibility they could just have a real friendly match and then just shake hands at the end.
I don't think
whoever wins and then just stay friends.
Though what's the point of Roddy and the Kingdom being involved in the first place if these are just two guys having a match, right?
I don't know. Sometimes AEW do things that don't make sense, I guess.
No, there has to be a reason that Roddy is involved in this thing, and of course Roddy looks terrible in this whole world. I mean, his acting is not believable, and he looks like a jealous girlfriend.
All right, well, yeah. So let me explain what happened at the end of this segment.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone who's listening to this has seen this, or else you're not that hardcore a fan of wrestling to be watching us if you haven't seen the show.
Sure.
So Roderick Strong comes out at the end. He's still got a neck brace on from many weeks ago.
What
the fuck?
He is milking this neck.
Selling
did they snap it in half?
That's Samoa Joe, right? It was Samoa Joe, I think.
Yes.
So he comes out, does his usual, trying to tell MJF, no, I don't trust this guy. I can't believe you're trusting this guy. And then MJF cut a promo on Roddy, calling him jealous girlfriend type and all this, and said some bad stuff. And then Adam Cole pushed MJF's no, he's my friend too. You don't act that way. And then MJF kind of got flustered that he pushed him, which is that's understandable. And everyone's like, oh, it's just a moment. And the crowd's like, no, come on, hug it out. They can't stand the idea of these two breaking up. It'll, for some of these fans, it'll be like a tough moment to take. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I mean, so they hugged it out.
Yeah.
And then MJF again had that look on his face, the pissed off, angry look.
Yeah.
And if you think it's Adam Cole is going to turn on MJF.
I'm not saying MJF still can't do something as well, but that's where I'm leaning towards.
Okay, so we got to wait till All In to see what happens.
Yeah, but I think I don't know. I mean, I think I had another point to make about that whole thing with
the Kingdom, about...
Oh, well, no, I think the point I was going to make is, yes, as you mentioned, the crowd would be disappointed if they broke up, because despite them only being a team for a short amount of time, they've managed to really, the ratings improve when they're on the
they have a toy now, and they have
they're selling the shirt
with their
shirt. So they're selling merch, right?
Dude, I'm telling you, mark my words. I might make it my official prediction before
they're going to be a tag team for the next 10 years.
They're going to win the Ring of Honor tag team titles. We'll see them on Thursday nights on Honor Club, tag team.
No, MJF is never going to be on Honor Club. I'll bet the house that MJF will never.
Well, that gives
appear.
away the result of that tag team match.
Well, yeah, it might have to, because MJF will never appear on.
So they'll lose that match, I think they'll lose that match. MJF will kind of be slightly pissed off.
Yeah.
And then he's going to take it out on Adam Cole at the end of the night. I don't think Cole's turning on MJF, man. I think Cole's going to be a babyface.
So then again, I ask, what's the point of Kingdom and Roddy involved in this then, in your opinion? What's the point of them even being introduced in this angle?
I really don't know. I mean, I maybe Cole will join them, but not as a heel.
As a face.
I guess.
No, but they're the Kingdom are a heel group, I think.
Yeah, they are kind of a heel group.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. We're throwing around all kinds of possibilities. It is. I guess it's good that they're keeping us guessing.
Yeah.
They're keeping
in some
us
ways,
guessing.
that's good. In some ways, there's definitely.
But they could blow it like the bloodline angle. And we'll see what happens in the end.
Yeah.
All right, let's move along with some AEW stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Next, I guess they set up another match for All In. Sting's gonna be there, so that's nice for those fans. I'm sure a lot of them are Sting fans from back in the days. But he's gonna be teaming with his son, Darby Allin, to face Swerve Strickland and AR Fox. So
it's a coffin match.
Oh, is it?
A coffin match.
Okay.
If that makes any sense, I don't know.
I will say that we also didn't talk about AR Fox's heel turn last week. It was on the Wheel of Angles and it didn't come up, but it was.
Well, I think we did mention it, didn't we? Well, not in the show last week, but the week before, maybe we did.
Well, we mentioned the heel turn, but we didn't talk about last week when they went to Nick Wayne's house, and
that was so dumb. Dude.
You know, made him unlock his own phone. Like he was bloodied, and they showed him his phone. They're like, unlock it, and he's like pushing the button.
It's totally an unrealistic thing. You're not gonna break into somebody's house and just.
Dude, that's how gangster the Mogul Embassy is.
Oh, come on, bro. I don't know. I thought that was really dumb and stupid, and they made this guy juice for this silly segment that they.
I know, like that segment was not good overall.
I mean, it was just not believable and it was dumb.
This angle's not good.
Oh, of course.
But I will say AR Fox looks better as a heel than he did as a babyface.
I haven't seen him that much in either, to be honest. But I will say that I guess this could end up pretty, like, you know, a showcase type match. You know, I mean, Darby will do some crazy stuff. All these guys do some crazy stuff. Sting will probably take some crazy bump. And somebody's. I mean, I expect the good guys to win, and I guess Swerve and AR Fox are gonna go into the casket.
But in that match, definitely the baby faces are gonna win.
Yeah.
All right. So, other than that, was the main event. It was Anna Jay against Sheeta. Yeah. And that went as expected because Sheeta just won the title last week.
Yeah. That's some main event they got there, man. Anna Jay versus Sheeta.
I will say, when I started this show, I was pretty sick when I was watching this show, so I was not in a great mood.
That probably made you only sick.
Yeah, my stomach.
Oh,
my stomach.
That makes my stomach hurl just looking at this as well.
But I was kind of happy with the first half of the show, the first hour.
Yeah.
I mean, the Jericho Appreciation Society meeting, I thought
can't say I was happy with that, but
it was funny to me.
Yeah.
They had the Bucks and Hardys wasn't bad. Jungle Boy and RVD was good to me.
Yeah.
And that was about the first. Oh, and the MJF stuff with Cole.
Yeah.
And then the second half, it just fell off table. It fell off the edge of the table because I fell asleep that night, and then the next night I tried to start it again, and I fell asleep again.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
I couldn't get through that second hour.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it started off well, right? Because it started off with MJF and Cole, right? So, right?
Well, I don't know about right at the hour mark or whatever. I'm just saying the second half of the show.
The show was hard for you to get.
It was hard for me to get.
I get it.
I didn't even write down what the main event was.
I think that was the main event.
Oh, that was the main event.
Yeah.
But there was another match with.
Maybe somebody else. I can't even remember.
Was there a Blackpool Combat Club segment or what?
They must have had it one. They must have. They must have been.
Didn't they fight the Lucha Brothers?
Yeah, they fought the Lucha Brothers.
Yeah, and then they took off Penta's mask.
Yeah, something happened. That's right. They fought the Lucha Brothers.
See, I don't like that stuff.
Yeah, because who cares?
Yeah. So, anyways, Dynamite was a tale of two halves for me. I liked the first half. I didn't really like the second half as much. So, I
wouldn't go that far.
As far as a grade, yeah, I know you didn't like the first half either, even. So.
Well, I liked some parts of the first half, and I liked some parts of the second half. But when I say parts, I mean like a segment here, a segment there.
Yeah, I don't know about Anna Jay and Sheeta being a main event. I mean, if they could made it Jack Perry and RVD as a main event for the FTW title,
that would have been more of a main event. I agree.
So, all right. Other than that, another thing we had set up for All In was the 4-way. It's a tradition for All In or All Out is to have 4-way women's matches. So, since Sheeta won, she's in it.
Yeah.
She's the champion. Toni Storm, she exercised her rematch clause, they said.
Yeah.
And then not Anna Jay, excuse me. Saraya and Skye Blue fought on Rampage.
That's right.
Yesterday to decide another one of the 4.
Mm-hmm.
And Saraya went over, which I was kind of surprised. I thought Skye Blue would have gone over for sure to be spotlighted in that big show.
I would think so too. To be honest, that makes more sense. But they were kind of pushing her before, but now it looks like they're cooling that off. I don't know what happened there. Who knows, man? But yeah, I'm kind of surprised Saraya ended up being in this match, to be honest, because aren't they kind of trying to be protective of her because she's like very fragile, like one little move and
I guess
she could be back up. She could break her neck again or something. So
I guess it's one of the bigger shows. You might as well. She's only got a limited contract to be in limited matches.
I mean, this was a match that I didn't really pay that much attention to as a match because I was distracted by the fact that both of these women have nice assets, and I'll leave it at that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
It was distracting. I couldn't. It was just distracting. I'll just leave it at that, man.
Two of your favorites, I guess.
Two of my favorites. Yeah.
Well, I'm just talking about the booking here.
Oh yeah. Let's stick to that.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't book Skye Blue.
I agree. And I agreed with you
to win this.
Yes, absolutely. I completely agree.
And I would have personally.
Yes.
I think it would have been a good spot for Saraya to put Skye Blue over, personally. But
well, yeah, only because if you're gonna have like this big show in front of 80,000 people, why not show one of your younger developing talents that you're kind of trying to push as a woman's wrestler? I don't know. I mean, I don't think Saraya needs to be part of it at all, or Saraya, or whatever it is.
My sister's name is Saraya.
Yeah, Saraya.
I know. A lot of people call her Saraya. I don't know. Saraya is like a more common name.
I think it's more common than Saraya.
Anyway, so the other thing that happened on Rampage, just to complete the circle of our stories, was that Aussie Open came out and accepted the MJF Adam Cole challenge.
Yes.
Okay, nothing to really comment on other than the fact that that match is going to happen officially.
Yes.
And
it's in the books.
Aussie Open are down for it. So there you go.
Yeah.
Let's see. So that's our AEW roundup. Other than that, we had Smackdown last night, which we talked about what happened with the Bloodline.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you think there was anything else significant to talk about. There was the U.S. title changing hands, which was surprising to me when Rey Mysterio got the 3 count.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think of that angle with him and Santos Escobar getting the title swiped from right under his nose.
Well, yeah, but it was more because Theory injured Escobar, so Rey had to take his place.
Was he gonna be happy for him, or is it gonna be a little bit of a wedge between them? Hey man, that was kind of supposed to be my title, man. It's kind of my time, man.
Well, wouldn't Rey probably give him a title shot?
Give him a title shot. He should give him the title.
No,
it's my title.
Rey won the title. But what is this, like a Christian Luchasaurus situation? No, I mean the guy that wins the match wins the title. But no, I think it could. You're right. Maybe that is a direction they're going. I thought it was because they want Rey and Dominic to continue their feud over. Once the U.S. champion, wants what's the title, that North American
champion.
So maybe because hasn't Rey been involved on NXT recently with that too?
Yeah, he showed up to be a manager against the guy Dominic was fighting.
Right. So I think there's something to that. I think maybe that they both have a championship.
I don't know.
I think there's something to that. I don't think it's. Or because otherwise, wouldn't you just have kept Theory as a champion? Because isn't Theory a guy that long term you want to be the champion or have a pretty fun
that
spot?
was a little odd to me that he dropped the belt. That was the weirdest thing to me out of this whole thing.
I agree. It was strange, but
I was like making food and then I did a side take. I was like, what? Really? Like he lost the title?
Yeah, I was a little surprised that he lost it right on SmackDown and not like on a pay-per-view match. But I think the only way to make sense of it is that they have another plan for Rey and Dominic, and they know that Rey and Dominic is a pretty big story for them. I mean, it was previously, right? So I I'm hopeful that's where at least I'll excuse it if that's the reason that Ray won the U.S. title. If it's just to have a feud with Escobar, then no, I think that's dumb.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing them have a feud either. I'm just saying it's a possibility.
You're right.
But I would not mind the Dominic Ray stuff continuing.
Yeah.
I think they should wait on that though a while. Like let it breathe.
Well, yeah.
Maybe like at another WrestleMania.
I could see that.
The idea I had to make Dominic and Ray fight again would be, what if Dominic wanted to be the only one to use the Mysterio name? Like he told his dad, like, dude, you're embarrassing our family. You shouldn't use that name. So then they have a match, and the winner is the only one who gets to carry on the Mysterio name. The other one has to take it off.
So in this case, and then what do you see happening? Is Dominic supposed to go over?
I don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead.
Because what would Ray's name be if he wasn't? It would just not be Mysterio, it would just be Ray.
Okay, he could be Rey Mysterio. Then it'll be just Dominic.
Oh, it'd just be Dominic.
I guess.
Just Dirty Dom.
Yeah, Dirty Dom.
Without the Mysterio.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, but okay, so
that's just a thought you had.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna continue their feud
for sure,
for on and off or however they do it. But that's an idea I had for a possible angle.
But I would think
happen.
Ray would want to put his son over in the next, if they had a high profile match, he would want it.
He already did that. Oh no, he didn't.
He didn't. Right. So I think he'd want him to win the next match if they had another one. Is my thinking. But we'll see.
All right, so we're basically done. We caught up. The only thing that we had was Collision, which was tonight. As we are recording.
Yeah,
this.
We just saw this a few hours ago.
We literally just saw it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to go through some major points from Collision real quick, so we could just, for completeness sake, and then it's very hard to find a time to record a wrestling podcast because there's always
the next show going on at the same time.
Yeah, we'll be recording. There'll be like a show going on. Like
we've already missed something. Yeah, and we got to talk about it next week now.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been an issue. We used to record on Thursdays.
Yeah,
because Thursdays to me was a good break in between. Like there's no WWE or AEW, so Thursday was a good time. But any other day, there's going to be a show. Anyways, today was Collision.
Yeah.
So we might as well talk about it now so that people don't have to wait till next week to hear what the famous Malapert Smarks think about.
They want to hear what we have to say
about these angles.
This is it's life or death, man.
Well, look, I know our podcast comes out late sometimes compared to other podcasts.
Yeah.
But really, people will wait to hear what we have to say.
They should.
Because ours opinion is actually the one that matters.
I agree.
So everyone could
put
their review out like 2 seconds after the show or whatever. Good for them. But our opinion is really the one that matters. That's the one that the wrestling pundits and the writers are gonna come and look towards to see if WWE is doing well or not.
Exactly. They have to know if they're doing well, they have to listen to the
AEW, they already know they're not doing well.
They don't need to hear it from us.
WWE, sometimes it's borderline whether it's good or not.
No, so they have to hear it from us.
All right. So Collision, August 12th.
Yes.
Today. So this is a surprise review, a bonus review.
Let's consider it a bonus.
If you will.
Oh.
Daddy-o.
I can't believe you got that in. Daddy-o. He's been trying to get Daddy-o over.
I'm bringing Daddy-o back, baby. Yeah. I'm going to just say it all the time. And, people like, the cashier gives me my change, like, thanks, Daddy-o.
They're just going to look at you like you've lost your mind. Man.
Have a good day, Daddy-o.
Daddy-o.
All right, so let's see. So August 12th Collision started with Ricky Starks coming out.
Yep.
And interviewed by Toni Schiavone, who browbeat him for beating up on Ricky Steamboat, whooping his ass. And he announced, surprisingly, which I think you were surprised too, I was surprised, that Starks was suspended for 30 days.
I didn't understand that.
Like, what
I hate when they do stuff like that.
Okay. For all the things that people do in wrestling.
That's what I'm saying. People have done on the show. There was a guy being attacked with a fork and a screwdriver.
Well, Ricky Steamboat maybe was an esteemed guest. Just like, oh, how could you attack our esteemed guest like this?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that's happened
and
too.
so humiliating, like in such a bad way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like, I mean, I get it, but I just didn't. Everything that's happened on AEW, it's kind of hard to understand a suspension for attacking someone, even with a guy like Ricky Steamboat.
But it was still funny because
Starks knocked the promo out of the park.
Yeah, so
he was a great promo.
He got to say, well, yeah, there has to be consequences for him, and I had to whoop his ass.
It was fantastic. He did apologize even a little bit. He said that Steamboat deserved what he got for, sticking his nose in his business type of thing, and I thought it was great. It was a great promo, great heel promo. Basically, I guess he's going to be like, he got a manager's license. I mean, they were trying to like come up with some stuff for him to just be suspended but still be on TV, I guess. Which I'm fine with, but I mean, I don't know. It's kind of an odd little thing, but I mean, I'm going with it.
Yeah, he's got a manager's license, and he's going to remain on the show as a manager.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So, that's that. Toni Storm.
Cut another
little promo. Not a huge angle, but since we were such a fan of that previous promo she did last week of losing her confidence and everything, so she did it again this time, not with Shivani, with the other girl. Honestly, I don't remember that girl's name. The second, I gotta write it down next time.
Yeah.
Because they got new commentators and new.
Yeah, no, and I've seen this
ring announcers
before too. I just can't.
She's just featured more on Collision.
Yeah, she's been featured more on Collision. I can't remember her name.
So Toni Storm again, depressed. She says.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like herself, and she was just mad at the interviewer for bringing up.
Yeah.
The fact that she lost to Sheeta, and that Sheeta's already in the match, and so and then in the end when she left, she's like, "This interview's over," and she threw her shoe.
Which was the highlight of it. It was pretty funny. It was a good promo. It wasn't
as good as the week before.
No, it was not.
But it was
still pretty good. Still very good.
Interested to see what it's gonna happen with it, because Saraya is in that 4-way.
Yeah.
So they could help each other.
Sure.
But they could also, I don't know. I don't see the Outcast being over anytime soon, but where's the storyline going with Toni Storm if they have an idea with it?
No.
I don't know. Okay, I'm just saying there are possibilities.
Yeah. She's a great talent. I'm starting to understand that she is a great talent, I wasn't sure at first, but now I'm seeing it, So, yeah.
I like her too.
Yeah.
Miro and Hobbs. That's another thing. So Hobbs came out with the Book of Hobbs, which again gave us hope that he was leaving QTV, which is what people have been rooting for.
That's right.
But no, not really, because QTV came out to help him, and some people are saying like, oh, maybe Hobbs didn't even ask for their help, but okay, he's still involved.
He's still involved with them, exactly.
And he calls out Miro because he's saying that's how he wants to get himself over now. Yeah. Huh? So Miro is gonna be feuding with Hobbs, and we were watching this live, and we were debating that I was thinking this might not be a good matchup just in terms of styles clash, two big guys. Hobbs is not really the most experienced type of worker.
True.
I mean, on paper, it seems like a good feud. And who wins, who goes over, right? That's another issue. So I'm not so thrilled with this idea, really, just because I don't know who wins in the end. And I don't think it'll be that great a match. So
I mean, we'll see.
You liked it, though.
Yeah, I liked it because I think it's time to do something with both guys. I've been saying that when you don't have an idea for either guy and you just have them like winning some job matches, why not just have them fight each other? I kind of saw this coming, to be honest with you. So not surprised. Not surprised at all. And I don't know what to expect in the matches, as you said, but I think for some reason I just have hope that it'll end up being pretty good. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I don't really have much more to say on that. Obviously, I wish QT's group wasn't involved, but looks like they kind of are, whether they should be or shouldn't be at this point.
You don't like Harley Cameron?
I mean, I like looking at Harley Cameron, but like I don't want her to be involved in on a wrestling TV show.
You ever seen that music video Harley Cameron did with Scarlett Bordeaux and
oh my god,
Shotzi?
Wait, where? No, when was
a WWE produced?
Oh,
video.
so Cameron used to be on WWE television.
I guess I don't know if she was in. I don't know if she was on NXT or if she was in developmental or something, but yeah, she produced music with them.
I see.
So, kind of a...
Wait, so they all sing? They all, like, even Scarlett sings or something, too? That's, like, they all want to be singers?
All three of them, yeah. It's a pretty...
Who was the third one, you said?
Shotzi. She can sing. Shotzi can sing.
The crazy chick.
Yeah, so that's an interesting one. If no one out there has ever seen that one,
no, I don't. I will not look for it.
YouTube that.
I won't be, but thanks for letting me know.
I mean, it's a cool video, I guess. I don't know, but whatever. If anyone's interested in that, last thing we could talk about is Samoa Joe and CM Punk.
That's right.
Oh, so this is another in terms of our rounding up our all-in. Card that we've got so far. So Samoa Joe challenged CM Punk to their fourth match, I guess, right?
Right.
Is this supposed to be like the fourth match? Because they fought at the Owen Hart Cup. That was their trilogy match.
Well, the other matches were what? The Ring of Honor, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Oh, no, that was their fourth match, I think.
Oh, that was the fourth?
So this is going to be their fifth match.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not familiar with their history, quote unquote, because obviously I wasn't watching Ring of Honor, but...
And Joe had challenged him last week, right?
Yes.
But Punk never got back to him.
Did not get back.
Busy.
Ignored him.
I mean, I guess I feel that because sometimes I get texts and, I'm kind of busy and I just don't get around to it sometimes.
Yeah.
And, it's sometimes it's not so easy. Plus what? Maybe he just didn't come to a decision. Maybe he really doesn't know whether he wants to accept that challenge or not.
Not everybody wants to fight, Joe.
So, anyways, CM Punk and FTR were involved in a trios tag team match, which they made for a title match for them last week.
Right.
Out of nowhere. Okay, so high profile trios match with some superstars in there.
Yeah.
And they had a good match.
It was a good match.
Until the end when Samoa Joe came in and interfered and choked out Punk.
Yes.
And that ended the match.
I thought that was kind of funny that he was choking him out and he's like, I need an answer. Like, what? How is he going to give you an answer if he's out cold?
Should have gave him an answer. Should have returned his call.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty good. I mean, Joe is a very menacing looking guy. He just looks like a menacing guy. He can't help it. He just looks like a tough Samoan guy, I guess.
Is that another good booking for this big show?
Yeah, I like it. I'm a fan of both guys. So
okay.
I know
it's just something we've seen already. We just saw it on
Who would you rather
Collision.
Punk face at?
Kenny Omega.
Well, sure, but we knew that's not probably going to happen. So
why not? People are saying it could happen.
Well, it looks like it's not going to happen, right? Based on the fact that he's already. If it was going to happen, they wouldn't have been pushing the stuff with Joe.
Yeah, I know. All right. Well,
Kenny Omega is going to fight someone, but it's going to end up being like one of those Japanese matches or something on that show. I'm pretty sure with his friend
it could be
Ibushi.
Takeshita.
It could be Takeshita will probably be involved. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it'll be probably something to do with that. I think it's good booking. Yeah, I'm fine with it. I like this feud.
Joe and Punk.
Yeah, Joe and Punk. Yeah, okay. Joe and Punk. I'm sorry. Back to that. Whatever Kenny Omega does is probably not going to be good booking. So we'll see.
All right then. All right, Vlad. Well, listen. I think I've kept you long enough. It's getting late. We're recording this late at night on a Saturday. I know it's an unusual time for us to be recording.
Yeah.
But it's all right. Such is life. I'm telling you, this stomach flu thing this week
took you on a roller coaster, huh?
It's just, life is already hard enough. We already got low on energy. We're already working all the time. You don't need things like this on top of it,
It's tough.
Yeah, so that was kind of bad. And man, I was puking and going to the bathroom nonstop for a couple of days, and then for a couple of days after that, I felt really weak.
Sure, of course.
So it's been a tough week, but yeah. So the show got delayed a little bit.
It happens.
To our legions of fans, we're sorry. Okay, I'm so sorry. I know you need this show. Hey, you know what though? Sometimes I'll be at work, and I need a podcast to listen to, and I've already listened to Cornette, and I've already listened to Dutch, and I've already listened to Conan. I'm like, well, I got nothing to listen to, man.
So you listen to your own show.
Well, I'm just saying, sometimes I need a show to listen to. So I understand if people are out there. People need lots of content, because some people are like security guards.
Sure.
They got like 12-hour shifts, and they can have an earbud in.
Yeah.
So they need to listen to like fucking 12 hours of podcasts for the whole day. So they need lots of stuff. So I understand if you guys out there and you need us, you need content. We're doing our best here, okay? And Wrestle Talk is, to me, it's real fun. It's more fun almost than the show itself. Sometimes the show itself is kind of a drag to get through.
Absolutely.
But we got to see what happens just so we could talk about it and criticize it. Or praise it. You know, we would love to praise it.
I'd love to praise it more than criticize if I could.
Yeah, I would love to praise. I would love to come on here and be like, oh my god, this was so good. I was shitting my pants this whole time.
I can't believe what I just saw. This was the most amazing thing. Wrestling is back.
I mean, there's been times. Bloodlines had its times.
And Bloodlines had its moments.
But Bloodlines had its moments. AEW's had a few moments, I guess. Like the CM Punk stuff with MJF.
That was the highlight.
Was a highlight. I liked Brody Lee right before he died. I think was doing really good, and especially in a pandemic situation. I thought was really fun.
Yeah.
So that was the storyline that was cut off, unfortunately, because he died. But yeah, I mean, there are moments where I will praise it if I enjoyed it. If I liked it and I really enjoyed it and it made me laugh or it made me smile or, you know, I'll say that. I'm not on here trying to be an asshole just talking shit about these shows just because, you know. But overall, this week was kind of not very eventful.
Yeah.
Just in terms of AEW, more wait and see. WWE just shot themselves in the foot. They're just like, man. Some people just think this storyline really jumped the shark with
of course,
with the Bloodline, and that was the big thing right after SummerSlam. Just reviews started pouring out like no.
But so you don't think it could be salvaged?
I mean, I think it'll be salvaged in a weird way, just because at the end the Usos are gonna have a little reunion when they make up and like hug it out, and everyone's like, oh cool, the Usos are back together. But no, overall no.
So you think the Bloodline angle should be also, you think it should have been over before, but now you think it definitely should be over?
Well, everyone says that it should have been over at WrestleMania with Cody.
Sure.
Like they're trying to extend this out for an extra year.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Right.
Or like Paul Heyman says, only the third inning, so I would be another 3-4 years. So
well, I guess,
you know,
depending on how, I guess I don't know what he's going by, that this is only the third inning, but yeah.
Alright, well, that being said, let's end the show there. And until the next edition of the Malapert Smarks, Vlad, thank you for coming to our in-studio this time.
Yes,
so
this is the first time I've...
Yeah, we didn't have any of the
in-studio
technical
shows.
Zoom issues. But,
I know, it is actually obviously a lot easier to do it in person.
I think it is, because when you're on Zoom, it's hard to talk over people.
Sure.
You think when they're cutting you off, you're like, no, you go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Right.
You know, when you're in, it's easier to kind of just talk over people.
The conversation flows better.
Yeah, so I enjoyed it, and it's always good. It's always good to see you, man. Thank you very much. You're the star of this show.
Oh well, I try, guys.
Without the Vlad, the wrestling expert, there is no show.
Oh.
There is no Malapert Smart. You're more of a Malapert Smart than I've been on this show.
Really? Me?
Dude, yeah. I mean, you've been highly critical of AEW.
I have to kind of...
I've been less critical. Like, some things that are stupid and humorous, I'll at least be like, all right, at least I was humored by it. You'll be like, no, this was just stupid. I wasn't humored at all.
Oh, sometimes I say stuff is funny even though it's bad.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, Mr. Malapert Smart. We'll see you guys next week, probably. Barring unforeseen circumstances. But have a good time and enjoy watching the wrestling.
Enjoy your wrestling, guys.